All right, hello everyone. Welcome back for another Treats for the Beast. As you may have noticed, and I forgot to post about in advance, there was no newsletter last week. That's because this week we just had our house inspection, and that kind of took over our entire lives for a bit, making sure that we were ready for that. And I did not get a chance to sit down and record the newsletter last week, so I'm sorry about that. But we're back on track this week, and it kind of worked out because I've got a lot to tell you about now, honestly. So last weekend, this is the other reason why I couldn't do the newsletter, is last weekend was Oz Comic Con Christmas edition. So I went to that. I got a creator pass, which was great. So I went and did some interviews with comics creators and other guests that had booths and stalls there, which was really, really cool. And got to meet a few of my fellow artists in the Australian community, do a few art trades, which was great. And I purchased this absolutely rad Soundwave sticker from an artist that goes by Milkhorns. I will link them in the comments below for this week's content. They had so much really, really cool Transformers stuff. It was really rad. They're not. They actually did a Shattered Glass stamp rally, sticker rally, a couple of weeks ago back up in Brisbane for Brisbane Supernova, which was really cool. What else is news? So I can show you progress on the commission. That's where I'm at with the commission for now. I'm gonna try to work on it maybe tonight, probably on Monday, try and get it finished off. And then I have that one sketch cover to finish. In the mail last week, I did get some sketch covers. So Absolute Batman, Batman Beyond, Armor Wars, The Mummy, and a Transformers one. So I'm very, very excited to get onto those. They'll get done after I finish this commission, and after I finish, well, probably while I'm working on it, but not as hard until after I finish my Cupid doll for the exhibition in February. I don't want to let that go too long. I just ordered some green stuff putty and some liquid green stuff to work on that. I was going to go with Milliput again because it's a little bit cheaper than green stuff. But last time I used it, it was a bit too hard and dry and it didn't give me enough malleability. It could have just been a bad batch because apparently it's not supposed to be like that. But for the price, it's only a few dollars. I looked today and it's only a few dollars cheaper, like $3, $4 cheaper than actual green stuff. So I just decided to get the green stuff because I've used it before and I really liked it and I know what results I'm going to get out of that. But I did see another type of plastic putty that comes in a tube with a little nozzle actually. So like the liquid green stuff, but instead of in a pot with a lid, it's in a little squeezy tube. So that would actually be really helpful for filling gaps and stuff and just getting that application a bit more delicate. They were sold out, unfortunately, but I might order some of that online eventually. And I just have to go up to the hobby shop up the street here and get some styrene sheets, the kind that you use for building like model houses and stuff, to make the housing for the screen for the head for this Cupid, which I'm pretty excited about. So that's where I'm at on that. I've sort of started drawing up the rough design. The sculpting is going to be the interesting part. Shoo. What else is news? My printer is currently out of commission because it needs its waste ink pad replaced. I've flogged the heck out of it since I got it last year. So I found out where the replacement repair place is in Ballarat today. So I'm going to take that up next week and do that. Let me see. I saw the Supergirl trailer. I wasn't excited, unfortunately. I was afraid that I wouldn't be after my reaction to Superman. I'm just kind of over the James Gunn of it all. I don't find his style very interesting and very deep. Doesn't feel earnest. It feels pretty shallow. And to be adapting the comic that they're particularly adapting, it feels like they read just like that very first part of the book and made that Supergirl's entire personality and just made her a drunkard, a bit of a frat kid. You know, like Supergirl has been through a lot and is dealing with a lot of trauma and PTSD and all that sort of stuff in that story. But I'm just not enjoying the characterization that they're going there. You know, it's like one of the first major women superheroes that we've gotten in the movies. Aside from Wonder Woman, you know, Black Widow got a movie, but it also wasn't great. And that's kind of been it for solo films for major heroes. And so just to see them adapting Supergirl and just making her this kind of, I know James Gunn said that like it's cool that she's not flawed and like that she can be flawed. She's not perfect. I'm like, yeah, that is cool. But they overcorrected too hard, I think, and just made it really rough. It would have been cool to see a competent person who is struggling and not perfect, but is a whole person, rather than, I don't know, whatever it is they're going for. It just didn't vibe with me. It feels like Justice Guardians of the Galaxy League, you know? It just feels too much like the same stuff. So I'm not super excited about it, unfortunately. And I kind of think that that's me done for the DC universe, this new DC universe. I had a lot of problems with Superman, and I'm not excited for their Batman as a result either. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. However, what else is going on in the studio? Oh, I know I told you about the production run of sketch cards that I'd ordered. They're here. I've got a big box full of them, but they're actually here. And so here is a blank one. Nice crisp print. It's got the black core. This is the back. Room for your proper signature, you know, your proper name. Room for your artist signature. And here is one being used. This is for the Krampus Jam that I'm currently running. So if you're an Aussie artist and you want to get in on the Krampus sketch card jam, just let me know. Some artists have already finished their Krampuses. This is my Krampus in progress. I'm going to ink it tonight and then probably color it tomorrow. But if I get, if I get energetic, maybe I'll do it tonight. And that will be available that one will be one of the ones available for this month's Snail Mail Sketch Card Club. I'll pick 9 others from the stash, and I'll take a photo of all of them and lay them out so that people can choose which ones they want this month. But I've also finished pencils on this Drake Duquesne sketch card. I'll be inking that soon. I finished the pencils on the Hard Eye sketch card, same, inking that soon. And this Frankenstein's Monster sketch card. Same again, I'll be inking that very, very soon. I'm just kind of smashing out the pencils on a few. Working on this Toxic Avenger one, Captain Planet. Just get a few of those done to build up. These special ones here, they will be convention exclusive. You won't be able to buy them. You won't be able to get them as part of the Snail Mail Club. These cards cost me a little bit more to order from the company that makes them, and they take a long time to get here. So you have to come see me in person to buy these. But I'm looking forward to finishing those, and these, my production run sketch cards, are available on my Etsy store right now for Australian artists. So if you want to pick up a packet of those, they come in packs of 10 and they come with the sleeves. So yeah, jump on my Etsy store and check that out. They're 15 bucks. I think I still have the basic edition, which doesn't have the black core and doesn't have the back on it, on my Etsy. I might have taken it down. I can't remember. But if that is, I'll check in a minute and I'll post another update on Ko-fi to let people know. If the basic ones are on there, it's the premium edition that you want. That's the new ones. I am working on a new zine called Sightings. This is just rough everything for now. I will do the text better later. I'm trying some new illustration techniques here. So what I'm doing with these to start with is I'm just laying out a silhouette with my really fat pencil and then very gently erasing that silhouette, like you can see here, so that I can start drawing in actual details that I want to include. And then these, there's a little bit on the back. These illustrations will be primarily black with some white highlights and a bit of red or yellow or green for the eyes and stuff like that. Just trying something a bit different to what I usually do. That's what I'm going to do with most of these zines. This is volume 1 of this, so when it's done, I'll release it. And, ooh, excuse me. I will post up a poll at some point or something to find out what creatures people want to see me draw for the next one. It's going to be just like a selection of drawings, prints of cryptids, but as if they're being recorded or photographed in the moment with the viewfinder and stuff on it. I just thought that'd be fun. I've got the So You Want to Go on a Podcast zine that'll be coming out sometime early next year once I sit down and can do the illustrations for it. I've got another zine folded and ready to go here. I haven't decided what's going to be yet. If you have any suggestions for what you want to see me make a zine about, drop them in the comments and I'll make some notes. You know, if it's an exciting idea, then I'll have a crack at making some kind of zine about that topic. I'm just really getting into using these zines as a place to experiment and try things that I wouldn't normally get a chance to try on larger commissions like that big black and white one. I want to do some kind of like block printing in one of the next ones. I think that'll be fun. Yeah. What else is going on? I have almost finished the outline for Northern Mayhem, which is the horror pitch I've mentioned once or twice that I want to pitch to Invader Comics. Once that outline is done and I can get an editor friend to have a look at it of some sort, and just tell me what they think is good, what's extraneous, then I'll start actually turning it into a story rather than dot points. But I'm just outlining it at the moment to sort of get a feel for how many pages it is gonna be / can be. That's gonna be really fun though. It's a bit of an environmentalism story, but it is a horror story. I might need to punch it up a little bit, honestly. It's a bit of a slow burn to get to the horror. But I like it. I still like it. I still like the concept. That's what editors are for though, to help you get your vision. So I gotta find someone to be the editor for this one. Not sure who I want to work with on this one. I like working with different people every so often, so. But, you know, budget. Budget is the problem. What else is new? What else is news? I think that's most of the big stuff right now. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Went to Comic-Con. That was really fun. Got those interviews done. You can see those on Instagram and TikTok. Oh, I booked Metro Comic-Con. So that's exciting. Thanks to all of you that came together and signed up for Snail Mail Club and, you know, purchased stuff out of my Ko-fi store and just all of the above. We managed to pull together the money I needed to pay for that invoice that came in. So I'm now booked in for 2 out of 3 of the biggest events of the year for Melbourne. And these will be my first Melbourne conventions as an artist. I've attended a couple in the 2 years leading up to now. Since we moved here, but I hadn't had the money to book tables yet. And thankfully, my sales over this year, between the Kickstarter and selling the comics after the Kickstarter and then doing Ballarat PopCon and everything, I was able to book my table for Melbourne Supernova in April and Metro Comic Con in July. Yes, July. I'm waiting for Oz Comic Con to open their applications. As soon as those open, I'll be applying. I'm checking out Animaga. I'm waiting for them to open their applications. I'll probably apply for that as long as it doesn't clash with anything. I have applied for Festival of the Photocopier. So that I find out that next month, I think 15th of January or something. I find out whether I got into that. And that's about it at the moment. I may or may not apply for Oz Comic Con Christmas Edition to table. I might try applying for a creator table again. So if you guys want me to get one, go holler at Oz Comic Con and drop my name in the guest suggestions and stuff like that. And I might be able to get one because they've got a couple of different ways they do it. They've got paid tables for creators where you'll get a fee for the weekend and a table to sit at, but you'll get paid for your time. So for bigger creators, that's great. They've got free tables where you just get given the free table to be at as a creator for the weekend. And then they've got the creator passes, which are basically like media passes for content creators. So that's what I got for this one just gone. So I don't know if I'm going to apply to table and sell next year or if I'm going to apply for one of those. It'll depend on how my sales go for the rest of the year, If Supernova and Metro Comic Con do well enough, then I might do it. But we'll see. Because it's a considerable cost for the table, and then there's booking a hotel as well for the weekend and, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Those are the main events on my calendar. I'd love to do the Melbourne Comic and Toy Fair, but unfortunately, you need to arrive to bump in by a very specific time. And so while I can get to the event via public transport with my trolley and everything, I can't get there that early in the morning. I can get to the CBD, I can get to, Melbourne Convention Centre and stuff like that at that time. But the venue for this event, I cannot get to by that time, unfortunately. I'm waiting to see when BenderCon's new dates are announced, and I might do BenderCon. One of my buddies said that we could carpool for that. So I've got BenderCon on my radar, and I don't know about Geelong Pop Culture Expo or whatever it's called. I haven't decided about that yet. I can get to Geelong by train, but not early enough in the morning for a single day event. I can't remember if the Geelong event is 1 or 2 days. And if it's 2 days, then I'll need to book a hotel. So again, depends on money. But hopefully I'll get to go to Festival of the Photocopier, and then hopefully Supernova will do well enough to cover the cost for those other events for the year, and then I can start growing from there. I have been working on a new design for like my sketch cards. This is the current design, and I've got that same basic back design that I'm using for the ones that you get from me, but I'm working on the new design for my ones for the future. So I'm really excited to get that done and then order a box of 1,000 from the same place that I got this production run done. Because then I'll have my fancy new cards and I won't have to cut them anymore. But I need $350 before I can do that. So that'll be next year sometime. But I've just been making myself, like, these are handmade at home. I use double-sided A4 sheets of adhesive and then the nice marker card to print the front and back design on, and then assemble those and cut them. So I'm going to do the same thing for my next batch once I get my printer fixed. I've ordered some double-sided adhesive today. I got 25 sheets coming, so that it will give me 12 sheets of cards. 12 and a half if I just do an A5, because I've got 24 sheets. It takes 2 sheets to make a set of cards. So 1 to glue the front to the black core, and then 1 to glue the back to the black core, and then cut that out. So that means I can make 12 full sets. And if I print the front and back on A5 and then cut that sheet in half, I could make another pack of 4. So 12 times 8 plus 4, that's 100 cards. So that'll last me a long time, you know. I'm not going as fast on them now as I was when I was doing the live streams, but I'm still really enjoying them. And as soon as I finish this commission, and you know, commissions are off my plate, I will be dedicating a bigger chunk of my week to sketch cards. A few hours every Friday or something like that. Haven't decided. Yeah, but that's that. I have some more blank sketch covers coming. I ordered a copy of the Die RPG Quick Start issue that just came out. That just arrived at the comic shop yesterday. And I have pre-ordered some other sketch cover. I can't remember what it was though. So it'll be a surprise for both of us, for all of us, when I get those. But yeah, I will be doing those sketch covers up soon once I finish my commission slots and get that off my plate. And once those are finished, I'll scan them so I've got a nice copy for my portfolio, and then they'll go up for sale in my shop. Probably, unfortunately for the US guys, just within Australia, because this whole tariff stuff is still a nightmare. But if you really, 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 really want one, we can probably work something out. Figure that out. I will be opening regular commissions after I finish these. They won't be as big, you know, I won't be doing gigantic ones bigger than my head. I'll probably offer A4 black and white like that, and then sketch cards full color. So that will keep me going for a while. I'll figure out what other people in Australia are charging for commissions of that size and sort of go from there. Sketch card commissions are going to be $45. You know, if I just sit down and work on a sketch card, it takes me between 30 minutes to an hour and a half to go from blank to full color. So $45 a pop is about right, because I don't work for less than $30 an hour in my day job. So that sounds about right for a sketch card. And yeah. Of course, Lewis is killing it still, doing the thumbnails for Snuffles the Indomitable before the beginning. I will have some previews of Double Billing Volume 2 for you in the very near future, once I finish doing the framing and backdrops on some of the pages for Tussle in the Golden Triangle. And I can't wait to show you those. Anthony, I can't remember if I've mentioned this already, but Anthony and I are working on Saltwater Taffy, the next other short Snuffle story. And that has gone from 10 pages to 12 pages. So we chatted and we decided that yes, we will do it as a printable zine that we can print ourselves. And Anthony is going to do a US exclusive cover, and I'm going to do an Australia exclusive cover, and or vice versa, you know. We'll figure that out. Vice versa would be fun, actually, because Anthony is doing the internal art and I'm doing the, if I do the cover, then like Anthony can have the cover that is done by the writer, full of his internal art, and I can have the cover done by the artist. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But that's an idea. I'll have a chat to Anthony once we get closer to actually getting some pages done. Shit, I feel like I had more. Oh, the inspection went well. No problems. We haven't got an update yet on our rent renewal, but if they were selling the place, I feel like they would have already known about that, and that they would have been able to tell us on Thursday at the inspection. So no news is good news there. I'm pretty happy about that. Geez, I'm never really sure what to talk about in these besides just general updates. I don't have any specific resources that I want to talk about today because I've just been a bit flustered, to be honest. My week's been a bit chaotic and crazy. Oh, I did a little hide and seek with some art around town yesterday. I took a few copies of last month's snail mail pack and hid them around Ballarat and put some little photos to signify where they were. A few people have already told me that they found some, which was cool. So I'm really excited about that. A friend actually loaned me a macro lens for my camera. So I think I only did one photo walk this past week because of the inspection. So I'm getting excited to get back to those. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see how I go, but probably Monday, but maybe tomorrow. And I cannot wait to try that macro lens. I will post photos here once I've edited them for you all to look at. I might actually start posting my weekly photo walk photos here, high res, for those of you that are subscribers. I post low res copies on socials, but I might post the high res ones here so you can download them if you like them and use them as desktop backdrops and stuff like that. Let me know what you think about that idea. If there's anything else that you would like to hear me talk about at next week's newsletter, please leave it in the comments. I would love to engage on topics that you're passionate about and that you want to hear me talk about. Not just work updates, but obviously the newsletter is primarily to keep you guys informed about what's going on. And I would love to chat to you about whatever else I can. Yeah, so let me know what you want to hear and we'll talk about it. But I think that is everything for this week. I think I told you I pitched for How We Made the Moon Cry and We Suck at Comics. I haven't heard back from them about whether I can pitch multiple things, so I'm just going to throw those pitches in the mix. Yeah, but that's everything for now. So stay tuned. I'll let you know how those pitches go as soon as I can and those applications for more conventions. I will post more progress on this zine as I get through it. I will post a photo of the finished up commission. Yeah, and I've started on my next digital commission for a client. I will post a preview of that as well, so you all can check it out. Yeah, but that's everything for now. Stay tuned for more updates, and I will post in like the next 5 minutes what this month's 10 sketch cards to choose from will be. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and please tell your friends about the newsletter and about Snail Mail Club, because I would love to get that going. If I can fill out the 10 slots for the sketch card club, I can make a page a month for whatever comics I'm working on, That's $250 a month, and that will cover the fees for a fellow artist to work on if I'm working with a collaborator, or lettering fees for comics, I will be able to make so many more comics if I can fill out just those 10 slots, let alone all the slots for the $10 club. Those are pretty much unlimited, so please tell your friends. And I'll see you next week. Bye.